What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a Easter inspired look. I literally did this like the day before or 2 days before I'm posting this. So yeah, I had to get it out really fast and edit it really fast because I came up with this idea. At first it was like a self-portrait, but like a younger version of me, and like the background was completely different than what it's gonna look like here. And then like I had did a separate like Easter sketch for like a makeup look, so I basically kind of like combined both of these together to make like this like Easter Sunday, like Easter egg hunt type vibe. Like, and you know, the country got a little church in the background and whatnot. I was just kind of like free, like styling everything. And I kind of just love where I've been going when it comes to like my makeup looks, especially like these little illustrations on my like forehead, because they really do tie in my art style and like what I've been loving when it comes to like creating art. Within like the last couple of months, I've been like really like using paints a lot more and painting landscapes like 24/7, which is crazy because one, like growing up, if you ask me what was my like least favorite like medium, it would definitely be paints, which is crazy in itself because I use paint more than anything. Like I pick up a color pencil here and there, but it's not my like primary like medium that I use, which was crazy because a couple years ago I used color pencil for almost everything, and then like before that I used oil pastels for like almost everything. So it's kind of fun just seeing like how my artistry has just evolved over the years. And yeah, now I love paint and now I do landscapes, and I barely did landscapes. I would always be drawing like kind of like character designs, like more illustrative style and stuff like that. But now I'm like really building up after like the background and the environments, and me doing looks like this kind of like pushed me to like figure out like what elements to add when I'm doing different designs and stuff. So you know, we just love the work, because honestly me doing these makeup looks and stuff is like just pushing me to like practice different things and to kind of perfect this technique as much as I can, so I can, you know, do even better things. But yeah, after I did my brows, I wanted to do like a blonde moment. Like that was like one of the ideas I had for one of the makeup looks. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do blonde, and then I'm gonna do like this like light pink like brow with glitter up front. And then I'm just using this thread, but you can see that I believe that's what I use, and I'm just like patting it just to make sure that my like eye base like closer to my brow is like evenly set. And then I'm going to go in with some more concealer just because I decided to use that as my eyeshadow base, and I'm just putting it on my eyelids to make sure I have a good amount so like it can like cover the entire area. And now I'm blending this area and like making sure that it's a seamless blend between like how I like concealed underneath my brow and like my actual like eyelid area, just to make sure it's even and that the eyeshadow goes on pretty well. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was listening to like a Flow mix, and yo, I love Flow. Like I wish I could be at one of the concerts, because oh my gosh, I would have loved it. I would have been singing my heart out, let me tell you. But I haven't been to a concert in so long, but I really do want to go to one. So you know, you might get a concert vlog, you know, when some money hit, because girl, why are concerts so expensive? Like I understand why, but like damn, like I don't know about all that. So for my eyes, I decided to play with this eyeshadow palette for REM Beauty. This is the Principessa palette, and that's so funny because like I studied Italian in college and stuff. So like the term like Principessa is something that I've just like associated with myself like since then. And honestly, I miss taking Italian class. Like I really wanted to make it my like second minor, but like I didn't have any like room for it like with the classes I was taking. But yeah, I definitely want to go to Italy, more so just to see like the coastline and just like that atmosphere of being like right by the ocean and stuff, because I'm obsessed with like the water, of course, because I mean I'm literally named after a mermaid. It makes sense. But yeah, I definitely want to film like a siren movie. That's something that I've been like really working on. Side note, that's like one of my little like I don't even know, my side quest. Yes, that's basically a side quest. Like I feel like I have so many different side quests going on, but it's gonna be fun to just see how like they actually like manifest within my life, because I'm about to be writing the script. Like I've written the script for like another movie I did, but like the one that I've been like really inspired by, like I've like started developing it a little bit more. So I need to like refresh on like, you know, screenwriting and stuff, and go ahead and build that fucking script up, because girl, I can find some people to film a video. I just need like, you know, a cast. I need some crew to help me. Shit, I'll do the fucking makeup on set. Like I'm just like literally like, let me do this shit for real because I'm gonna make this shit happen. And you know what, the Sinners movie by Ryan Coogler, the director, with Michael B. Jordan in it, like I am so excited to see that movie. Like I'm so excited, and like the only reason why I'm holding out on it is because I want to go with somebody in particular just so we could just talk about the movie afterwards, because girl, like the Easter eggs I've been seeing people talk about, I'm like, yes, because I love spirituality and just like, you know, reconnecting with the roots and like what we were doing years and years ago. Because it's so funny to me that I feel like so many older people from the Mississippi like area, the Delta area and stuff, like they act like we was not doing some shit, like we weren't like as tapped in as we were like a couple like decades ago, or like, you know, a couple generations ago. So I love anything that like kind of like celebrates that and like taps into that, because I feel like it's been a lost art, but it's been a lost art on purpose for like, you know, just forcing people to forget who they are. Because once you forget who you are, like, you know, there's certain histories that like you can just be blindsided by because you don't know any better. But nah, I'm glad that they tapping into this shit for real, for real. So for this eye look, I just decided to do like a neutral like smoky eye, and I want to use this like jelly shadow because I wanted to make it a little bit purple. And I had swatches the other day because I was like looking through my makeup and like seeing what I haven't played with recently, and I was like, ooh, I haven't tried this one. So I was like, let me just go ahead and try it. And whenever I do like these little forehead illustrations, I usually use the Made by Mitchell color case. This is the Electrics one, and I'm using this basically as the base for my illustration. I like this product because one, like it's so pigmented and it's like pretty like easy to work with. And yeah, I'm almost out of it. Like I have like most of like the top shades, I have like half of it just because like I don't use like the pinks and stuff as much as like the other colors. But I'm definitely going to restock on this. I have like the little mini one that's like the primary colors in white and black, and I love using that too. But I'm just missing some like green colors and stuff, so I know eventually I will have to restock just because I use this so much and I need to have these colors. But I have a feeling that he'll probably release a color case like sometime soon, so you know, my fingers are crossed for that. So when I was doing this look, I decided to try a different technique, and I didn't like use a fluffy brush to blend out like the base colors, and I feel like this worked pretty good. It's just like when I was setting it with the pigments, I feel like I had to work harder with that light blue on the top that you'll see later on. But I like using a flat curved brush like this to like fill in the areas, and it's also really nice for me cleaning up around my brows. So that is the reason why I use that. And then I'm going ahead and lining my top like lash line with a black liquid liner. I thought you could see me in the video, but you couldn't see me do the other one. So I use that black liner to basically like help my natural lashes blend in a little bit better with the lashes I will put on later on in the video. That is usually like the last step when it comes to me doing my makeup, like my lip combo and my lashes, because I want to like make sure I set my face, like, you know, before I put on my lashes, just because I feel like it helps. And like I don't know, I feel like sometimes when you sit with the lashes on, your like makeup might like freak out, but I don't know. But I was not tapping off as much pigment as I probably should have when it came to this. So I had pigment like piling up like above my brow, but I ended up just like brushing it off with a cleaner brush. And I went in with this other pigment, and I'm just like patting this all over the area. I like to use these pigments to help set the colors, and it also helps make the colors a little bit more vibrant. So I'm just using like random like pigments from Jellywing Cosmetics. I do have a code, it's RCX Ariel, and I will like earn a little bit of money if you use it. But I really do love Jellywing Cosmetics like products, like all of their products. Like I definitely would say that I use their neon pigments the most, but I love the glitters. This is where I get majority of my glitters from. And I have like the jelly shadow, like the peel off glitter glue is one of my favorites. That's an essential for my makeup kit and also like my client kit. So yeah, but now I decided to just go ahead and freestyle this shit. And when I do these illustrations, I usually use the color fix to basically like draw on my face, because these dry down matte, and that way I don't have to use eyeshadow to kind of set it. Because when I used to do stuff like this, I would use concealer, then I would have to get like the shade of like whatever eyeshadow, or I would have to use eyeshadow to create whatever shade I was really going for. So this is a little bit more efficient in my eyes. And I knew I wanted to do a dress, and I didn't want to like waste pigment and like have to cover up stuff and do any unnecessary like layers. So that's why you see me do like the arms and legs and stuff. And now I'm drawing on the dress, and when I tell y'all I freehanded this shit, Like, I am just like astonished sometimes with like my artistry, because it's kind of hard to draw on your face. It's kind of hard to draw on your face, especially when you're trying to film it so that like y'all can see. But I was just really going for it, and I still had to rush because this is right before my tattoo appointment, and I barely had any time. Like, I was gonna take this off before I even went to my tattoo appointment, but I did not have enough time to do that. And then I'm just going in with a lighter color fix just to kind of like make the skin to look like it has like highlights and stuff a little bit, some highlights and shadows. And then I'm taking this black because I don't know, I grabbed this one and I didn't realize that this one was a foil. Like, I didn't think the color would be that noticeable, but usually I would use a blackout, but I'm like basically almost out of blackout. So yeah, I need to restock on that one. And then I just decided to draw pigtails because like when I think about like the younger version of me, I had my hair in pigtails almost all the freaking time, and I feel like it's just a staple. So I just went ahead and filled in those areas, and then I'll draw my ears on after because I felt like that just made more sense to just do it later on. And then I want to draw me holding a Easter basket, so I decided to use that purple color fix. This is Journey, so it's a little bit darker than Rebirth, which is what I use on my dress in the middle. But I just kind of wanted to play with like the purple theme, since I feel like that was like the main color I was using, especially since I used it for like my eyeshadow look. So I just drew it on, and then you'll see me draw like the hand and stuff on afterwards, and just add some little details here and there. So while I was drawing all those other details on the white area dry, which was good because I knew I needed to go in with a second layer just to make it look a little bit more opaque. Usually I don't do 2 layers when I'm drawing, but sometimes you'll need it just based on whatever color you're using and stuff. And now I decided to use like this like tan color. I believe this is nude too, and I am drawing on a church. I know like in the end it kind of looks like a house, which I mean technically it could be a house, and I feel like I probably should just drew a cross on it just to make sense, but in my head it is a church. It's like the back of a church from one of the churches we used to go to all the time in Mississippi. Like definitely a Baptist church, you feel me? But I wanted it to have like 3 sides just to make it take up a little bit more space, because I didn't really know what I wanted to add to the back. Like I was like kind of just like figuring out with every layer. That's why I was like doing like things at a time just to figure, okay, like, well, what space do I have? Because I knew I wanted to do clouds in the background, and at first I was gonna do the clouds first, but then I was like, I don't want to like create clouds and then like half of it is covered up, and then like that's just unnecessary and like it's a waste of time. So I thought that this would be a little bit more efficient of a way. And then I always draw trees. Like, oh my gosh, almost all of my landscape paintings have a tree somewhere in there, just because it's one of my favorite things to draw. Like I will usually have a tree, some clouds, maybe the sun, and like a body of water. Yeah, in a building or two. That's definitely most of the stuff that I include in my little illustrations and stuff. And I want to make it look like there was like the inside of the tree, and I try to do like one of my painting techniques where I use like different colors to like kind of make it look like an ombre in a way. Like you see highlights in like depth and like shading and stuff in it. And then I decided to use some matcha just to draw on these leaves, and you'll see me later on like mix different greens up because I only have 2 greens, and one of them is titanium, and titanium is like a metallic color. Like it's definitely a foil or something like that, so it's not the best green for when I'm trying to do like leaves and stuff. So usually I don't use that, and I'll just like mix the color after I use matcha. And I'm going in with a second layer on the church just because I wanted it to be a little bit more opaque. And then I'm setting my forehead just to make sure, like, you know, I'm taking the time to set it because I don't want stuff to start acting crazy, especially since it usually takes me a second to draw these illustrations on my face. So I thought it would be good if I like set it with a more like hydrating setting spray like throughout the different layers that I do. And now I'm just adding some details and stuff to the church building, to my little outfit, to my Easter basket and stuff like that. And then I'm adding the door to that church and yellow to basically create the leaves. So I used like whatever green I had left and I mixed it in with that yellow. So I knew I wanted to add some like eggs somewhere just to make sure like it kind of gives Easter. And growing up, the Easter egg hunt like at the church will always usually have like a gold egg with like some money in it, and they used to hide them so fucking hard. Like I'm really trying to figure out who in the world was hiding the eggs, because they was doing a good damn job. They was doing a good job because you had to hunt for them hoes, like for real. And then like the grass would be, it wouldn't be like too tall, but like I feel like they was for real acting like we was gonna have to like fight for our lives to get that egg. But shit, if it had some money in it, girl, I'd fight. Not even like fight, but like I would sit there out there in nature and get get this egg with some money in it, especially because like springtime, like the mosquitoes and stuff ain't that bad, but they be out there. They definitely be out there, and then I be ready to change up out of my Easter clothes. Oh my gosh. But I use like these different like liquid liners just to add random details to the eggs, just to do like some simple designs. If I had more time, I probably would have added more stuff, but I really did not have the energy or the time to do it. And then you can't see me drawing it, but I drew a gray bunny on the left side of my face holding a carrot in its mouth, and then I'm adding clouds because I have to add some clouds. Like, it's not a painting by me if there are not some clouds in the background. Like, let's get it together. But yeah, I usually just do like a white and like the light blue, which is Oasis, and I basically just use that to like kind of create some different like value in it. And then I'm drawing these cattails in some water. I know like you couldn't see it that well, but shit, I just needed to add something to that space just to fill it up, and I couldn't think of anything else, so that's why you see me draw some water. And then now I'm just adding those final details and stuff to my bunny. I probably should have showed y'all like more of a process. And then I'm setting my face just because I'm like, okay, I'm done with this now, and this is what we're working with, you feel me? And then now we're going to go ahead and outline all these different details. This probably took me like 15 minutes to do. I'm not gonna lie, I cut out a lot of footage because I'm like, who really wants to sit here and watch me draw this stuff on my face? I mean, it might be interesting, but I'm like, I don't feel like having to edit a whole voiceover. There's like, first off, even when the videos be pushing 30, I'm like, damn, that's a long ass voiceover. I don't want to sit here for an hour trying to like talk to y'all while I'm doing these random details, because it took forever. Like, I'm telling you, I had to cut out so much footage. But I feel like the outlining just makes it pop a little bit more, and it definitely like resembles my style. Like, I used to not even like outline with my paintings, but now I'm like outlining, and I feel like it's just like a habit I've built up, and I feel like it does complete the look in a way. And I'm just outlining the hair now, and I like using the liquid liner versus using a black color fix, just because like I feel like it's a little bit easier to work with, and it dries a little bit faster than the color fix. And I don't know, it's just a little bit easier on me than having to like constantly like dip a brush and color fix on my hand, like kind of like mix it together to make sure it's not too thick in some areas and whatnot. This is just a little bit more consistent and a little bit more efficient. But I want to add some details to my dress to make it look like it had like ruffles, and what I really want to do, I really did not have time to do. And then now you see me going over the house details. It was like so hard to like go over those windows and outline them because, girl, like it was just like hard to like get the lines to be straight. And then I like was messing up, and I was like, well, shit. Kind of just gotta do whatever at this point. But yeah, and now I'm adding highlights. And I know for like some of the other ones I did recently, some that looks like this, I didn't add highlights, but I've been adding highlights to my painting, so it just felt right. And yes, this is a extra step that takes a little bit, like it took like 2.5 minutes, something like that, but that's still like a good amount of time. But I was like, yeah, I feel like it's gonna eat if I add the highlights, so that's why you see me adding the highlights here. And before I like move on with the rest of my makeup, I'm gonna make sure that this is set as well as possible, and then I'm going to go in and start doing my foundation and my base. Okay, so for my base, I really wanted to play with this foundation from Made by Mitchell. I got this not too long ago, and I've only used it like once or twice. The foundation is a little bit darker and more red than I normally go for, but I can make it work with the concealer and stuff I use. But I picked this like foundation out to use for this look just because I want to try it out more, just like see how it looks like with certain products and stuff, and figure out like if I really like it. And I feel like it's pretty good. I definitely like this a little bit more than the skin tint. The skin tint was nice. It definitely gave glowy. It definitely gives like that Made by Mitchell vibe, but I want something a little bit more pigmented, so I thought that this would be a good product to try out. And she's cute. And then I'm just using the same concealer I use to like set my eyeshadow or like create that eyeshadow base, and I'm just using this to highlight the rest of my face. And yeah, I feel like my base routine went pretty fast compared to everything else, especially because like at this point, like I have my base routine like kind of set in stone. Like I know what I do and like what techniques and like what order and stuff, so it makes it a little bit easier when you have a routine that you typically use and you're just basically just switching up the products at this point. But yeah, I just want to make sure that my concealer is blended, and whenever I'm blending out my concealer, after I'm done, I will use my foundation brush just to like blend out the edges to make it a little bit more seamless. And now I'm using the Power Bronzer from Danessa Rice Beauty. I've had this for a little close second now, and I like her. It's just not what I normally go for, but she's a pretty good product. And this one is a little bit cooler of a like bronzer than I go for, but she definitely gives sculpt, and I just wanted to try her out since I haven't used her that much recently. And then when I was doing this makeup look, I knew I needed to test out the About Face powders again because somebody asked about me, or somebody asked about them, and I was trying to like figure out like how did I really like them, because I've used them a couple times, but I was like, let me just do my makeup with this so I can really see if I like really fuck with this powder before I start telling people that I fuck with this powder, you feel me? But I really do actually like it, and I like the color of Applause. Applause is the like powder I put all over my face, and Finale was that like light pink that I used to like set like my highlighted areas in my eyeshadow base. And Applause is like more of a red tone, which I usually go for whenever I'm getting like setting powders, and I feel like she actually like holds up pretty well. My face wasn't that oily. I wore my makeup for like 7 hours, and I was like all over the place, so she set pretty well. And then I used the One Size, I think it's like the Deep Shade Trio or something like that, and I'm using that palette to basically just like bronze my face. I really love like that middle shade. I need to start using the other shades just to like give it, you know, a little break. But yeah, and now I'm going to go ahead and basically do the same thing that I did above my eyes, underneath my eyes, to make it a little bit more seamless. And I feel like a smoky under eye too. Chef's kiss. But I used that like smaller brush. It's a little bit easier to get like the color underneath my eye and not have it like all over the place, because I don't like taking out that dark shade too far, because then it starts looking crazy. And then I'm just like going back and forth with the different colors just to make it look blended. And yeah, now we're gonna do blush. So I'm trying out this blush from Juvia's Place. This is their new cream blush, and I've been wanting to try it for a second, so I was like, let me just use this so I can actually see if I like it. And it is very pigmented. But I feel like Juvia's Place blushes are usually pretty pigmented, because I have a couple of different liquid blushes, and I like them, and I feel like I like this. It's really like, you do not need to use a lot. And I mean, I love blush though, so I'm gonna like go crazy with it. And I decided to use like this palette from their like blush like powder ones, because I love this one. This color, like the top color, is my favorite one, but I usually don't use the bottom one, so I was like, let me use this bottom one for this look. And then setting my face again with that, I think it's like the Dewy Bounce or something like that from the Beauty Crop. And then I'm going in with that shadow stick from About Face. This is a black matte one, and it's my favorite under eye one just because it's bigger. I don't have to sharpen it, and I feel like it's pretty pigmented. And then I'm going ahead and adding mascara to my top lashes before I do the rest of my face. Okay, this is Nessa Myrick's Beauty Love is Love palette. Is one of my favorite palettes. Like that highlighter in it is just so freaking pretty. And usually I use like the pinkish orange one that you barely see in there because I dropped it and it broke. But I like the purple one too. And I feel like they just look so good with the blush, because I feel like it kind of like brings like attention to it, but also like it's not too crazy, because I feel like most highlighters like people make are like those golden or like copper ones, and I feel like those are cute, but it's just something about like a pinky purple like highlighter that just like eats so freaking much. And I'm using these Manic Gem like rhinestones. They're like kind of like pearls or whatever, but they are no longer like available because they shut their website down. But I love Manic Gems. I still have so many products that I will be using. I just won't like tag it just because like you can't buy anything. And I'm setting my face with the Kimchi Chic setting spray, because now I'm basically done and all I have to do is do my lip combo and do my lashes. So I originally bought these for my prom clients, and I ended up not using them. So I was like, let me just try these lashes out. And then I'm taking this REM Beauty liquid lipstick, one of my favorite brown lipsticks to use. I feel like the ombres I do with this just be eating up. So I put that all around the perimeter of my lips. And now I'm trying out the lip sync. This is Frappuccino Blend from Made by Mitchell. And I've been wanting to like, you know, use this more just because I've seen a bunch of different colors on Beauty Bay and they're so freaking pretty. So I just wanted to try it out. I don't know why, but like the middle of my lip was like acting the fool. But when I put the gloss on top, like it really didn't show. But it took me a second to put my lashes on because it just takes me a second. But I cut out all the extra footage. And this is a lip gloss from Half Magic. Crazy enough, this is not the color I was trying to pick. And I guess I didn't realize it. Like I didn't look when I was like putting it in my basket because I just grabbed it from the spot that the tester was in. But now I'm like, okay, now I have to look because I'm tired of like accidentally buying the wrong thing and I already opened it up, so I'm not gonna return this shit. And then I decided to use the plumping lip gloss in Needy from REM Beauty just to add a little like pinky sparkly effect. But yeah, that's the end of this makeup look. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all want to see anything in particular, please let me know. But I love y'all so much, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.